Welcome to Bible Tales. We're excited to share timeless Bible stories with you, full of faith and wisdom. If you enjoy our content, please like, comment, and subscribe to support us and stay connected. Thank you for being here. Happy listening. The fiery showdown, Elijah versus the prophets of Baal. The sun blazed over the land of Israel, casting long shadows over Mount Carmel. The people stood in clusters, murmuring among themselves, their faces painted with curiosity and doubt. The air was thick with tension. For today, a great test will unfold, a contest between the prophet of the Lord and the prophets of Baal. For years, Israel had drifted from the true God, lured away by Queen Jezebel's influence. The worship of Baal had spread like a plague, leaving the land spiritually barren, just as the skies had withheld rain for 3 long years. But now, the time for reckoning had come. Elijah, the lone prophet of Yahweh, stood before the gathered assembly. His eyes, fierce as a storm, scanned the crowd. He raised his voice, clear and commanding. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, then follow him. The people were silent. Their loyalties were divided, their hearts unsure. Elijah turned to the prophets of Baal, 450 in number, draped in fine garments, their golden amulets glistening in the sun. With a boldness that made even the bravest among them uneasy, Elijah proposed a challenge. Let us each prepare a sacrifice. You call on your God, and I will call on the Lord, the God who answers by fire. He is the true God. A murmur spread through the crowd. The challenge was fair. The prophets of Baal, emboldened by their numbers, agreed with confidence. The altar was set. The wood was arranged. The bull was slain and placed upon the pile. Then, with great theatrics, the prophets of Baal began their ritual. From morning until noon they chanted, their voices rising and falling like the waves of the sea. They danced around the altar, their feet pounding against the dry earth. They called out to Baal, lifting their hands to the sky, but the heavens remained silent. No fire, no smoke, nothing. Elijah watched, leaning against a rock with arms crossed. Then, with a smirk, he called out, "Shout louder. Maybe your God is deep in thought. Perhaps he is traveling, or maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened." Laughter rippled through the crowd. The prophets, stung by humiliation, grew more desperate. They slashed themselves with knives and spears, their blood staining the ground. Their wails turned to agony, but still no answer. As the sun began its descent, Elijah stepped forward. The time had come. He rebuilt the altar of the Lord with 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel. He dug a trench around it, deep enough to hold water. Then he laid the wood and prepared the sacrifice. But he was not done. Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it over the offering and the wood. The people gasped. Water was scarce after years of drought. Yet Elijah ordered it be done 3 times, until the wood was drenched and water overflowed into the trench. Then he stepped back, lifted his face to the sky, and prayed, "O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant. Answer me, O Lord, so these people will know that you are the true God, and that you are turning their hearts back to you." Silence fell, and then a roar like thunder split the sky. A great bolt of fire descended from heaven, striking the altar with force that sent the people stumbling backward. The flames consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. Nothing remained but scorched earth. The crowd fell on their faces, trembling. "The Lord, he is God! The Lord, he is God!" they cried. Terror gripped the prophets of Baal as they scrambled to flee. But there was no escape. Elijah commanded their capture, and by the decree of the Lord, justice was served that day. And then Elijah lifted his face once more, praying for the heavens to open, and for the first time in 3 years, the skies darkened. A great wind rose, and heavy raindrops began to fall, washing away the drought and the sins of the people. On that day, Israel remembered. On that day, the power of the Lord was revealed, and fire from heaven proved the one true God. Relating to our daily lives, many of us find ourselves in situations similar to the Israelites on Mount Carmel. We waver between trusting God and following the distractions of the world. How often do we rely on our strength, our plans, or even modern idols like money, status, and fame, instead of seeking God? Just as Elijah challenged the people to choose whom they would serve, we too must make a choice. Do we fully trust God, or do we chase after things that leave us empty? The prophets of Baal cried out, exhausted themselves, and even shed their own blood, yet they found no answers. In contrast, Elijah's simple but faith-filled prayer was met with a dramatic display of God's power. When life's challenges seem impossible, when we feel surrounded by doubt, we must remember Elijah's unwavering faith. He believed even when everything seemed against him. And in the end, God showed up in a way that no one could deny. Encouragement for today. If you are facing a season of drought in your life, a time of hardship, waiting, or silence, take heart. God has not forgotten you. Sometimes He allows the drought so that when fire falls, all will see His power. Keep your faith. Stand firm. Pray boldly. And just as the rain came after years of dryness, God's blessings will pour down in due time. Trust in Him, for He is the same God who answers by fire.